Right, we are here. First live of the year. Hope everybody is doing well. So we're gonna jump in. This is the first live, but it won't be the last. But also, this occasion is a live. Next occasion is going to be an actual Zoom webinar. I'll be having individuals on who have actually made a commitment. As some of you who may be joining me, as some of you may have seen in my, I guess you would say my announcement on the web page that announced this live today. We spoke on, or I spoke on the fact that a New Year's resolution is garbage unless you have a strategic plan, unless you have some actionable principles, some things that are written down that you're following on a day to day to day to day basis to help guide you towards accomplishing that goal, that resolution, whatever it is that you're setting. Now, for a while now, for a few years now, I've not been one to set New Year's resolution. I think about towards the back end of the year, I think about, okay, what were some things throughout this year that I was unable or unwilling to accomplish that I would like to make sure I accomplish in this upcoming year? So, what I do is before the year ends, I start putting things in place to make sure that as I migrate into the new year, I've already got the wheels turning. I've already got certain plans and act. So I'm hoping everybody didn't wait until the last minute, didn't wait until yesterday, didn't wait until today to really start to get things in place. But if you did, it's all good because there's no better time than today to get started. So many people get caught up in waiting to start things, waiting to celebrate things, waiting to make acknowledgement or take acknowledgement on certain accomplishments. They wait to a specific day, specific time. Oh, I'll wait and do it this day. I'll wait to make sure I hit it on that day. Well, this day, that day may not come. So you want to make sure that you get started today. So many people never accomplish what they truly desire to accomplish because they're waiting until tomorrow. And then not realizing when you tell yourself, when you put that in your mind that I'll wait until tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, your brain is always going to be thinking about tomorrow. Whenever tomorrow becomes the new today, your brain isn't really thinking about the fact that, okay, now today is tomorrow. It's thinking about tomorrow. So if you keep programming your brain to get something started tomorrow, that's going to delay you doing it so much worse than if you just jumped on it today. So I'm just going to run through a few principles that I've seen in the past to be able to help me. And some of the things that really helped me have a more successful 2023 than I did 2022. So if you're in a place to take notes, please do so. If you're not, make sure you reach out to me and I'll give these or send these over to you. And also a somewhat of an outline to help you really understand how to implement some of these principles and do so in a disciplined fashion. So we're going to jump right in, make sure that we don't waste anybody's time. First and foremost, a lot of you maybe have heard the acronym SMART, SMART. If you hadn't, I'm going to let you do that as your homework. SMART. It's an acronym for the type of goals you should look to set. I'll just give you a hint. The first the first acronym, the S, is for specific. So whenever you're setting goals, you want to make sure that it's a specific goal. It's not just something that is coming from anywhere, influenced by someone else. You got it from this person. It's not really something that you're truly desiring to accomplish. It got to be something specific to who it is that you are, what it is you want out of life. But use SMART goals. Be specific in what it is that you want out of life. Because if you don't set a goal, it's kind of like hopping on a plane and you don't even know what the destination is. You know you're supposed to go somewhere, this place, but where? How are you going to know how to get where you're aiming to go if you don't really map it out, if you don't really write it down plain and clear? So make sure you start with some straight up some goals that you're looking to accomplish by the end of the year, or you can mark it off by quarter, by month, every 2 weeks, however you want to do it, but be specific and get your goals set. Now, a lot of times people get it twisted when it comes to being productive. when it comes to making any type of accomplishment, and they think that they have to completely sacrifice who they are to be able to accomplish these things that they're saying to accomplish. Now, there are certain sacrifices that you do have to make, but a term that's been thrown around a lot over the last 5 to 10 years is self care. Now, you got to make sure you take care of yourself before you can go out and do any type of work, accomplish any type of goals. I helped start a coaching program about going on six, goodness gracious, time flies. Going on, I think, going on 6 years now. 6 years ago, helped start this coaching program where oftentimes individuals will come to me, would have a time set up to talk about business goals, life goals, financial goals, some sort of goals. But then whenever they got onto the call with me, I would see something that was off about their energy, and I would stop it right there, and I would help zone in. Okay, what is that that's throwing you off right now? Why are you not who it was that I was on the phone with when we were setting up this call? And then we go into something that's troubling them in their personal life. So you got to understand that if you're not on par, if things aren't right in your head space and your heart space, and something going on in your personal life, you're not going to be able to focus on those business, those financial, whatever type of goals there are that you have set. So take time out on a daily basis to really work on you, focus on you. And one thing that I was gifted with over this holiday season is a mindfulness journal. So it helps me 3 times a day really to be in tune with how I'm feeling, with what's going on the inside. And I recommend everyone to have something like that, or just a regular pad where you write about the things that are going on in your head. And maybe you have someone that you process them with, but you got to work on and stay on top of what's going on the inside of you before you try to go out and accomplish any of these external goals. Now, the third one is continuously learning. It was once said that most people die at the age of 25, but they aren't buried until they're 75, 85. And what that really means is you stop learning. And when you stop learning, you stop growing. When you stop growing, you're pretty much just dying. So always be learning, especially in today's day when it comes to all these advancements in technology. You see AI this, AI that, Chat GPT, AI RPM, all these different technologies that are taking place of so many people's jobs and positions and work. But if you don't continuously learn and learn and learn and learn and learn, you will become obsolete. You will become a lost member of society because you're no longer needed for what you knew when you graduated high school, when you graduated college, when you finished the onboarding training at your job. You didn't continue to learn, so you're replaceable. So you always want to be learning, finding something that you can study to increase your craft, to increase your skill set, because somebody who is on top of it is going to come through and take your spot. So you always want to be learning. And if you don't know what to learn or how to go out and learn, you can take a look at my website. Most of you who are or who have been following for a minute, your legacy begins now. I have a tab in the top, the navigation menu called self education. And I have all these different resources, free resources that allow you to educate yourself on a regular basis. Whereas most people think that the only way you can be educated is going to some sort of academic institute. No, self education will get you to so many more places than traditional education will. So continuously educating yourself. That's number three. The number four is effective time management. Now, this is one that has become somewhat of a sticky subject for me over the last 5 years or so, because I became a stickler on who and where I give my time and energy. And individuals, and they may be watching right now. Let me click this little eyeball. Maybe I can see who's watching. No, I can't see who. Just see what number on each platform. But I have people that will try and get my time without setting up a time to have that time beforehand. Because if I'm doing something at any moment in time, typically my intentions at the beginning of the day, beginning of the week, were to be giving my attention to what I'm giving my attention to. So if you randomly call me and I wasn't expecting your call, it's going to distract me from what I was giving my attention to. So never think it's something personal when I don't pick up your phone call, when I don't quickly respond to your text. It's because I'm giving my time and attention to something that I intentionally designed myself for that day to give my time and attention to. And if you want to, as most of you hear on my voicemail, if you want to make sure you're able to catch me, shoot me a text. If I don't respond to your text in what you feel is a timely fashion, shoot me another text. But the quicker you say, hey, Brian, do you have X amount of minutes or hours to discuss X? I'll get back to you so much quicker. If you just say, hey, call me, I'm going to be in my mind assuming, okay, if I call this person, it's going to likely take up to an hour of my time on the phone without me being disrespectful and just shutting them down. So let me just wait until I know I have that time. And what will happen is time will pass and I probably won't get back to you. So if you're able to be specific, and I have a link that I'm going to make available, which I mean, I've made it available in the past, but not many utilize it. But a link telling me, hey, I want to talk about this with you before this date. I might need about this much time. Let me know, and we'll be able to set that time aside. And there's a lot of people that just don't operate like that, that just pick up the phone and call someone at any random time and expect them to pick up. I'm just not that person. Like the way my life is set up, I refuse to allow any and everyone to just call me at any time and I pick up. Because if I did that, I would never have time to focus on what I'm intentionally desiring to get accomplished. So effective time management. Manage the time that you're giving to other people, to tasks, to things that may be taking you off of what you're intending on getting done, and what you're intending on getting done, where you're intending on putting your attention, schedule it out before time. Got me another one over here. Notes where I'm setting up, this is what I'm intending to give my time to or give my attention to throughout this time period. Get one for yourself so you can effectively manage your time. Now, number five, this is one that a lot of people should agree with. We've heard over the past X number of decades, I said that's 20 years or so, that it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And there is, especially in today's day, there's a lot of truth to that. So I always say, instead of going out and trying to just focus on getting all this information and knowledge and information, but you're not really connecting with anyone's, maybe you need to start getting to know some people that can help pull the chair out to a table, get you a seat at that table, and then all of that you went to learn, you can utilize it to keep your seat at that table. So number five is building a strong support network. You got to get out here. You got to start networking. You got to position yourself to where if someone in their circle needs what you have to offer, you're the first person that comes to mind. So they're able to send business your way. They're able to send support, send help in whatever it is that you either can help or need help for, or send people to you to get help for what you can provide help for. And then you always just have those individuals that are ready and willing to support you, but don't just develop a support network to be poured into. Yes, you should always have a support network that is going to pour into you, but what value are you bringing? Make sure that you can be that support to at least one person in that network as well. So, number five is building a strong support network. Now, the next one, this is one that a lot of people have had to fall into just by default over the last couple of years, is embracing adaptability, not being stuck or pigeonholed, as they say, into a very narrow, specific niche. Now, yes, you need to be niche specific to be able to demand the authority in a certain space, but make sure that it's not so specific to where that industry or that specific product, service, resource is no longer relevant to the market, that once it's no longer relevant, you're out of business or you have nothing else of value to bring. Make sure that you can adapt to the things that are going on in your industry, in your field, and your environment. Come to the dating space. So many people only could meet people at the club or only could meet people at the bar or at certain restaurants or outdoors events. Then COVID came through and all of that was shut down. So people didn't know how to engage with individuals in an online space. But then along those same lines, so many people that fell into the dating space whenever we're stuck with only doing things online, they never knew how, once things opened back up, never knew how to communicate with people face to face. So they didn't have the adaptability to change with the changing seasons, so to say. So adapt some sort of adaptability and embrace it, because change is inevitable. Things are always going to change. I think it was said the only two things that are definite is death and change. You're going to change, things are going to change, life is going to change, and you're going to die someday. So why not take today to start embracing adaptability so you can go with the flow, not completely with the flow, because you want to be able to stand out, but so that you can adapt when things demand you to adapt. Financial planning. Now, I have a huge network of financial coaches, wealth coaches, individuals that focus on helping people get their things together when it comes to budgeting, saving, investing, understanding how to strategize with your credit, so on and so forth. So start planning on your finances. There's a couple of videos of I was interviewed. One of them is in full length. One of them was cut short, but a couple of videos on my website where I was interviewed by this news station. And 2 years ago, specifically, they interviewed me on New Year's financial goals. So I lay out a couple of things for people to kind of keep in mind as you start at the new year when it comes to your finances, when it comes to curving some of your spending or spending that you shouldn't be spending. I would recommend you go and check out that video. I got some good feedback on the effectiveness of some of the things that I laid out. But you want to start planning and understanding that once you get certain proper behaviors around your financial life, you'll start to see it bleed into other areas of your life as well. Now, the next one, what is this? Number six, number seven, seven, eight. Communication skills. This kind of goes in line with what I mentioned around embracing adaptability. You got to hone in on your communication skills to really to develop better relationships, be able to articulate what you desire out of life, be able to articulate the value that you have. Most often in this, and this is a sticky subject. I actually do a or have started a podcast, but I do a live on a weekly basis with a partner out of New York. I'm talking about relationships. So many people fail in their relationships, and specifically romantic relationships, but it happens across the board. Business relationships, personal relationships, friendships. If you don't know how to successfully communicate and articulate who you are, what you want, what your standards, expectations, XYZ, so on and so forth are, people are going to have to make up their own assumptions. And oftentimes, when people make up assumptions, what do they say? You make an ass out of you and me. You don't want to be that person. So learn how to communicate and understand that communication is a back and forth. It's not just you talking at someone, it's a back and forth task where, as has been said, you got two ears for a reason, two ears and one mouth. You need to listen twice as much as you try and talk. And when you actually listen, you know what that person has of value to add to your life or what that person needs in their life. And when you listen, you know exactly which tools out of your tool belt you need to pull out to help that person if they say that they need help. You don't want to feed them with the kitchen sink and just say all these things while they're just sitting there waiting for you to shut up. Listen, be the person that listens more than you talk, and you'll come across a whole lot more respectable. So increase your communication skills. If you feel like you need someone to practice with, reach out. I used to be a what was it called? A conversation partner with individuals from other countries whenever I was working on my bachelor's degree. Um, yeah. So I'm used to just having conversation and giving feedback on how you're conversing, feedback on how I felt based off of your tone, XYZ. So increase your communication skills. The next one, I think this is number eight, number nine. Number nine, I believe, is have an innovative mindset or innovation mindset. And what I mean by that is you don't want to always feel like you have to do everything that you do, every service, every task exactly the way that you were taught by your predecessor. exactly the way that you were trained by your professor, your teacher, your mentor, whoever it may be. You need to learn how to add your own little taste, your own spice to it. When it comes to business planning, there's two different sections that you really have to focus in on when it comes to you maintaining relevance in your space. One is the market research, and then after that is the unique value proposition, or what makes you stand out. Because when you have that extra innovation, when you have that extra something that you bring to the table, aside from everybody else in the market, you're going to be the one that people go to. But you have to be able to articulate that, just as I mentioned in the last one, communication skills. So be able to have that innovative mindset to do things differently, bring new ideas to the table that you feel can be more impactful, but then also be able to articulate that, be able to articulate why you instead of the competition, because they only bring this to the table. You bring all of that plus more, but only if you have that innovation mindset. So always be thinking of ways to improve, thinking of ways to adapt to changing times. And then the last one just brings you right back to the journal that I just held up. Mindfulness, mindfulness and gratitude. Always be, when I started my master's program back in 2015, the professor and eventually became director of the department, he taught this personal professional development course. And we talked about critical thinking, the very first class. And he asked us to define critical thinking in this exercise. And then he defined it in his own words. And he said critical thinking is thinking about what you're thinking about while you're thinking about what you're thinking about. So think about that. It's thinking about what you're thinking about while you're thinking about what you're thinking about. So what that means is you have to have an ongoing process of processing what's going on around you, what you're feeling when you're about to make certain responses. And when you can have like quick processing of your thoughts while you're in action, while you're in conversation, it can bring so much more to you in life because it's not as if you're this uncertain, this unknowledgeable individual that has to stop and really ponder before you can give an answer. Be thinking about what you're thinking about while you're thinking about what you're thinking about, and it'll keep you ahead of the game. Now, that may sound tricky to you, but if you start practicing, just doing self exercises, when you walk up or wake up in the morning, ask yourself, why did I just wake up at the time that I just woke up? When you get out the bed, why did I make this step when I made that step the way that I like? Start questioning why you do certain things the way you do certain things, and it'll just expand your mind. And then just the gratitude side of things, you have to be thankful for what you have before the probability of you garnering more can be bestowed onto you. So, as they say, be thankful for what you have before you ask for more. There's this prayer by Dr. Napoleon Hill. I don't know it word for word. I always go back to it every so often, but it's something along the lines of I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom to do better with the riches that were given to me at birth, which was the control or the ability to control my mind to my desired ends. Something along those lines. Stop asking for so much more, but use what you already have and be thankful for what you already have. And when you utilize that which you're already thankful for, by default, the actions that you're going to be taking is going to bring more to you. So those are just a few things to think about as you're going into this new year, to really get you ahead of the game. Last year, I decided, you know what, I'm going to be a whole lot more conscious with my time management. And it brought more income, it brought better relationships, it brought more joy by the time the year ended. I say, you know what, I'm going to prioritize self care a little bit more. I'm going to get a little bit more sleep. I'm going to really focus on being more in the moment. Because one of the things that you'll notice is we have these high rates of mental illness. And two of the top ones that we see and or hear most prevalently, most often is either depression or anxiety. And depression and anxiety are brought about by excessive worry, about what may happen in the future. That's anxiety. When you worry so much about what may happen in the future that it freezes you in the present. And then worry is dreading, being sad about things that happened in the past that are robbing you of your joy today. So when we focus on the here and now, we focus on making sure that I enjoy what's going on in front of me in this moment. What it'll tend to do, it'll push away some of those fear or some of those worries and sadnesses from the past, so that depression starts to leave you, and it'll force you to be so focused on today that you don't have the time to be worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. So that anxiety is going to start to leave you. Now, a lot of times people hear these type of talking points and they're like, ah, it sounds good, yada, yada, yada. I don't say these things just to sound good. I say these things because I study them. I've got multiple degrees that I actually put in time in the desk in classrooms to learn these things and then apply them to my life to see how, okay, does it actually work? Let me be my own test subject, let me be my own case, my own case study. And I saw them work for myself. I started to coach people with those different methodologies. I started working on them. So let me just continue to give it away to the world for free. I went to school, I paid money to be able to gather some of this information, but let me go and give it away for free. But one of the things that was mentioned in this book, Strangest Secret in the World by Earl Nightingale, was the things that are given away for free, the things that we get in life for free, we don't place value on. But the things that we have to pay for, we could always come back and get it over and over and over again. But certain information, certain knowledge, certain things that feed your brain, your mind, you can't get another brain, another mind. So the things that are coming just for free, that you have for free, that you can feed for free, we don't put a lot of value on it. But as soon as you say, I will give you these beats if you pay me X amount of dollars, you're quick to, yes, I want that, and fish out the money, and you see the value. Guys, I come to you and give you this information because I've seen it bring value into my life. I've seen it bring value to the lives of those who I've worked with. So if you desire to take some of these principles and get a little assistance to move further into actually accomplishing the goals that you say you want to accomplish before you that you say you want to accomplish, you got to put some of these things in place. So reach out to me, as I have on the message down here below, and I haven't even checked my comments. I don't know if I've gotten any or not, but I've seen that I've had a handful of people that have cycled in and out, and I just want to come and give value today because, like I said, value has helped me move forward, and I hope it can help you do the same. So, off that note, reach out to me. If you know how to reach out to me, drop a comment, send me a message, shoot me a text, whatever it may be. But I'm out. I got two little ones that are likely waiting for me, and I think dinner sounds pretty good right about now. So, off that note, guys, you have a wonderful remainder of your day. You'll be seeing me again soon, excuse me, on one of these social media platforms. Until then,